Powered by DNA. Come on, hey. Powered by DNA. Dialogue, networking, inspire. Powered by DNA. With Nikki. With Nikki. With Nikki.
Inspire.
Inspired to aspire.
Aspire.
Aspiring.
Empower.
Never give up.
Let's get inspired.
Good morning, and thank you for joining Empowered by DNA with Nikkei. Where we are dialogue, networking, and inspiring you to achieve your dreams, to stay in it to the end. And normally, we will have interviews with different individuals, groups. There are lots of plans along the way as I evolve in this Empowered by DNA. And my hope, of course, is always that you walk away empowered to accomplish that thing that you've been dreaming of, and your dreams evolve into realities. Okay, so this morning, again, it's just I didn't want to spread any germs, so I didn't have anyone to interview this morning. But as I said last week, never fear. Got some great things in store for you. And so, as we talked last week, we talked about celebrating those small wins. And so, still want to stay a little bit in that vein, but as we have small wins, we also have what? Failure or a defeat at times. And so, with that being said, I was doing some research. Actually, LinkedIn, if you've never used it, it's just a really great opportunity to get some greater insight into different subject matters in leadership. And so let me apologize for Podbean. We'll be a little bit behind this because I couldn't figure out how to go live on it this morning as I did last week. But no worries. This episode, this broadcast will also appear on Podbean a little bit later today. Okay. So talking about failures, we know in life, we call it life happens, is what I always say. Life doesn't always throw you a fair opportunity all the time, right? We get started in something and we get excited about it, and as with anything, we're empowered, we're ready to go, we're energized, we've got this thing, and then all of a sudden we run into the roadblock known as failure. And we can let it do one of two things in our life. We can let it, we can learn from it. So we can get up, brush ourselves off, and move forward, which is what we're going to talk about. Or you can let it altogether stop you, which is what you shouldn't do, right? There was a saying there: nothing beats a failure but a try. And so I think that failure truly happens when you allow it to defeat you to the point that there's no getting up. When you throw in the towel, when you give up, you don't try again, you don't try to be better, you don't try to learn from it. It's at that point that then, yeah, I consider it failure. However, just the mishaps of the day, the mishaps of life, the bumps in the road, the distractions, the walls that we run into from time to time, the mountains that appear higher than they really are, I like that rear view mirror says either things appear closer than they are. Um, those are to me not failures if we don't see them as such, if we don't approach them as such. However, um, if we can take that failure and change it from a failure to an opportunity. And so that's how I like to think about failures. There have been many of those opportunities in my life, from wanting to, I like to write plays, and I'll be honest, I have these huge visions in my head of how it should go. But it doesn't always go that way. But it doesn't mean that it wasn't successful. I also want to talk about size. We think that the bigger the thing is, the more successful it is. But I'm one that believes if I saw it to the end, then it was successful. There are going to be some learning points from that thing, but there are also going to be those opportunities to celebrate the win, the successes of that thing, of that event, of that goal that I've achieved. A friend of ours was on Facebook, and I saw somebody this morning celebrating a win. And I was like, yes, celebrate it. It may not have been where they wanted to go, they may not have reached that end goal. And I'm sure there were some bumps along the way, but hey, it was a celebration because guess what? I made it this far. And I think every day we ought to do that. We ought to do that. Every day I look back over my life and I say to myself, I look back over that day and I say to myself, um, where were my opportunities of improvement? Notice I didn't say failures. Where did I fail? Because I think failure, the word failure can be so harsh, and um, it has the ability, when used incorrectly and viewed as such an ending to all things, to stop you. It can be a huge distraction. And I don't say take the failure lightly so much, or the bump in the road, or the halt moment of having the pause moment, if you will. But I do say take an opportunity to look back over it and say, what was my opportunity to do it better the next time? Where's my opportunity to go a bit harder, push a bit further? How can I be better at this thing? Look, this is my goal. Goal A is where I want to be. At the end of the day, I want to end on A. But I didn't make it, but I was almost there. So I believe that even in the midst of what appears to be a failure, you can also find a moment of celebration in there somewhere. And I think that's important. So, really briefly, I want to talk about 10 things that we can do to help us accept and deal with that pause moment, or that bump in the road, if you will. I just refuse to say failure because I just don't think it's a failure. To me, if you can come out of it, if you can move past it, if you can get beyond it, then it's not a failure. It's simply a bump in the road. It was a pothole. It was just a moment for you to stop and think. Even in finances, we do that, right? We're trying to be a good steward. We're trying to save for something, or we've got this goal in mind, whether it's purchasing property, whether it's saving for vacation, whether it's coming out of debt, whether it's saving for college, saving for our children's future. And along the path of that, we can find a bump in the road. Doesn't mean that we failed and we won't now purchase the property, or we failed and we won't now achieve the thing that we've been saving for. So, okay, we thought we'd go on the vacation this year, but some things happened that were uncontrollable. Maybe you were sick, maybe there was surgery, maybe there was death in the family, maybe something broke in your house and you had to fix it. So unfortunately, you had to go into that savings to do that. It doesn't mean that the dream is deferred, or the dream has to be pushed aside or thrown away. It just means that we have to reevaluate where we are currently and see how we can get back on track. In our ministry, Faith Zone Christian Fellowship, I've often spoken of being out of alignment. And I think we get that way not only with our relationship with God, but we also can get out of alignment with our dreams, our goals, right? We start really hard, and if we get enough of those bumps in the road, enough of those distractions, enough of the negativity in our ears, we will defer it. We will get out of alignment. We will write it off. And what I've come this morning to tell you is don't write it off. It's just a bump in the road. It feels like sometimes it is the worst bump, the worst thing that could have possibly happened to your dream. But let me encourage you, let me assure you that it is not over unless you say it's over. It's not done, it's not finished. It's just a bump in the road. Address it for what it is. This has happened, and I can come out of this by doing this. How can I get over this hurdle that I have? Is it more time? Is it that I need to slow up just a little? Do I need to get more education about it? What happens? Because those things we call failures, those bumps in the roads can be disheartening and discouraging if we don't approach them correctly. So, the first thing that I read was accept that failure is a part of life. So I say go into the vision, go into the dream with the concept and the understanding that it's not all going to go my way. It's not going to all happen in my time, which is why I believe as a Christian that you need to consult God about the dream before we commit to making it a reality to ensure that you've got that supernatural, powerful backing and direction along your way so that you're prepared for the stumbling blocks. Listen, I've never known God to fail me, and I've never known Him to allow me to run into a hurdle or to get disruption in the thing that I'm doing unless I'm not listening. But if I'm focused and my ears are sensitive, then He gives me direction and allows me to be ready for this disturbance that's going to come into my life, the disturbance or the hurdle that's going to slow down my process or progress in achieving the thing that I am aiming to do. But it will also allow me my relationship with God, that communication will also allow me to be prepared so that it doesn't distract me and set me back in such a way that I can't come out from it. So understand, it's a part of life. Setbacks are a part of life. We can't prepare as much as we want to for everything because we can't always see it coming. But the way to prepare is to already know that going in this thing, I'm gonna have some bumps, I'm gonna have some hurdles, and guess what? Some of those hurdles are going to be you. Some of those hurdles are going to be me. We're going to get in our own way at times, and then we just need to be able to deal with that when it happens. Secondly, learn from your mistakes. I wholeheartedly believe in this. I believe that is literally biblical. That the thing that is my hurdle, the challenge in my life, I can learn so much from it. In fact, the Word of God tells us that all things work together for our good. And I hold on to that verse because I believe that that's what it's saying. That even in my lowest moments, even in my most destructive, what feels to be destructive time, that hurdle, that challenge, that failure, whatever it is going to work for me. Why? Because I'm going to learn from it. It's going to build my character. It's going to give me stamina. It's going to make me more persistent if I apply that failure correctly. If I don't apply it correctly, then it's not going to work for me, right? And then be patient with yourself. Listen, I always say we're our hardest critic. We're our worst enemy at times. So I just want you to understand that you've got to be patient with yourself. We all have bad days. We're all going to have hurdles, and so you want to make sure that you are patient with yourself. That you allow yourself, so give yourself some mercy. Allow yourself some grace in this thing. Okay, no one's perfect. We have moments where we're like, I should have said that. Oh, I went too long. Like today, I may go a little bit over. But I think the message is important, so hopefully you'll stay here with me. Four, don't give up. That's my message for today. Don't give up. Don't let that hurdle, don't let that battle, don't let that challenging moment, don't let that negative thought that just hit your mind and your heart cause you to throw in the towel. Because whatever it is that has been placed in you, whatever it is that you feel so adamant about doing, that you were so pressed to get done, remember, hold on to that emotion of persistence. that even though this moment I can't find a positive reason as to why I'm doing this, that my brain is telling me that I'm not worthy, that no one will follow, that no one will care. Listen, keep going. If God placed it in you to do, He's going to see it to the end. We have moments that are what I call just gray. It's foggy. You can't see really clearly like you want to. You're not feeling as joyous as you were the day before. The day you started that excitement, you don't have it right now because you feel beat down. Listen, don't you give up. Don't you stop. Keep persevering. I don't care how many followers you have. I don't care what it looks like financially. It's a dream. The dream is going to take work to make it reality. No one said the path there would be easy. No one said that just because you're inspired and empowered to do it, that you wouldn't have a hurdle here and there, that you wouldn't have a mountain that might be dropped dead slap in front of you in the middle of your cycle. So just understand that you don't want to give up. Keep trying. I always say try again, and then try again. And then five, talk to someone. A lot of times we like to just go through these things by ourselves, but there's somebody, trust me, in your life that's had that exact same thing happen to them. They've had the same hurdle, they've had the same opposition, they've had the same challenge, and they can encourage you and empower you. Listen, but be careful who you talk to. Don't talk to people who don't have anything positive to your life. Don't talk to people who are always negative. I told you so. We don't need those types of folks in our life. We have enough hurdles and challenges of our own. We don't need that additional negative conversation in our head. But be able to distinguish the negative from just simple constructive feedback. There is a difference. You need people around you that are honest to say maybe you need to try it this way because this way isn't working. And let me tell you why. Be more constructive feedback than someone who just says, "It'll never work. I told you couldn't do it. No one's ever done it. It's too late. You're too old. Hello, to get started in your dreams. You should have done it when you were 16." But listen, be particular, be prayerful about the people that you encircle around you, camp around you, that village that you have. Sometimes you have to shift and move that village and those people because maybe you've outgrown them. And then focus on the positive. Don't keep thinking about don't keep revisiting that failing moment or that moment where you messed up or you forgot or you missed it or you feel like you missed the mark. Don't dwell on it. It happens. It's the same way you celebrate your small wins, right? Yay me. Now let's get back to work. It's the same thing. Okay, I didn't do it the best way that I should have. Maybe I need to prepare a little bit more. Maybe I need to study research a little bit more. Maybe I need to get more organized. Maybe I've got to say no to some things that I didn't say before. Lesson learned. Now I'm going to brush myself off. I'm going to get up and I'm going to try it again. And I'm going to try it a little differently this time. But I've learned from it. I will not make it a negative thorn in my flesh, but rather a positive lesson is what I'm going to do. And then take some time for yourself. Always have me time. I'm going to have me time today, as a matter of fact. Always have me time. Me time is a great opportunity and time for you to reflect, for you to encourage yourself, for you to think, to plan. Me time is a good time to just woosah, take a deep breath. Don't think about any of it because I'm gonna tell you, a fresh mind is way more creative than one that is bogged down. And then reach out to others where you need help. I'm not good at everything. I can come up with visions and plans and events, but I'm not always as creative to get everything done. So I do have to reach out to other people who are better suited to do it. Seek professional help. Listen, mental health, we don't talk about it. That's going to be a whole other series another time. But mental health is important. Seek professional help when you need it. And not even just for the mind, but maybe you're not good with cameras. Maybe you're not good with technology. Maybe you're not good with marketing. There's somebody in every field that can help you with that. So seek the professional help that you need. I'm talking to myself on that one. Because sometimes we can't do everything and it'll help. And then lastly, remember, things will get better. It will get better. We can do this. The journey is going to be rough, but listen, we're going to get it done. So that's it for me today. Those. I just want to encourage you. It's just a bump in the road. And yes, I said just. I don't care how big you think it is. It's just a bump in the road. It's what you aspire to do, you will do. An aspiration to me is that persistence to get it done. No matter what, no matter who, no matter how big the dream is, you will get it done. Do not give up. You can do this. You've got this. God's got you and you've got it. Glory to God. So thank you so much for joining me on my journey. I am joining you on your journey. We will continue with more interviews from other women because this is International Women's Month. So happy International Women's Month. All the beautiful women, all my beautiful sisters out there um, who are working hard, who are on the grind, getting it done. Listen, we've already talked to my first 3 episodes were powerful women, right? Who are getting it done. We had Ellen Moore, 30 years in business for herself. So we celebrate her today. We had Tiffany Broadnax, a CEO of her own business, getting it done on the grind every day. We talked to Felicia Wall. My goodness, she is doing multiple things. I celebrate all the women today. I know so many. My own village of women. There are other career-oriented women out there. Listen, there are business owners, entrepreneurs, and dreamers, singers, actors, actresses, all of that. I celebrate all of you, my beautiful sisters, this month. And let's make it a great month. So if you had a moment of setback, just come on back to it. Let's get back to work. Let's get back to the grind. It was just a hurdle. God bless you. Thank you again for joining Empowered by DNA with Nikki. Dialogue